let's talk. Thank you so much for coming back. If you are coming back with us, happy to have you back. Hope you're rating, reviewing, subscribing, sharing.
All of your friends, as always. Tell them all.
Yeah, we want more roommates.
Yes.
Let's get more people in here.
We want to know what's going on in their life, too. We've
many
said
as
it
we
a million
can fit.
times. Don't gatekeep us.
But if you're new, thank you so much for joining. We love having you here. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the apartment.
All it
Pretty
takes,
rainy day today.
no lease, just rating, reviewing, and subscribing.
Yes, that's all we ask. And I feel like that's a really good deal, contract-wise, especially in the city.
Yeah.
We just want you to share.
No move-in fee.
Subscribe us.
Yeah, just rate, review, subscribe.
That's all we want. It's so simple. We don't ask for much. We're very simple ladies, guys.
And if you do have anything that you want to tell us about, we want to hear about it. Stories, something you need advice on, got something to celebrate. We want it all. Write us at rentfreeroommates@gmail.com.
You know where to go.
How was your week?
Oh, God. I feel like this week, I'm always complaining about my week.
That's what we're here for.
I know. And I feel like this was just a week where like nothing was going right. I was getting like, I would like put out a fire with one problem and then another one would come right back to me. And I'm like, excuse me, I would love to sit down for 2 seconds. Like, that's it. It's nothing crazy. So, but I had a really great start to my week.
Good.
You guys, I was at a bar on Monday and this 11-week-old dog just fucking carried in by its owner. And she's just like, here, will you watch it? Like, it's just like, whatever. And she's just like doing shots at the end of the bar. And I'm like, I am a mother now. You are mine. And I was like, so it started out great.
My flesh and blood.
Yes. I was like, I take care of you now. You are mine. So started out so good. And I feel like the universe was like, excuse me?
That is a great start.
Yes.
We all need more puppies throughout the week, though.
Yeah, can I get that at like the start and end? Like, I feel like I'd be really cool with that.
It's a good bookend.
Well, I know where she's at. She did tell me. She told me where she worked. She told me where she lived. I didn't ask you guys, I swear. She told me willingly.
She knew what she was doing.
She wanted to be.
She wanted a babysitter.
Yeah. We just came to the realization. But, okay, well, like, say less.
Honestly, that's really smart.
Twist my arm. Yeah. Oh, she buttered me up.
Let me take my cute little puppy to a crowd and see who takes the bait.
Yes.
Who wants to watch my puppy so I can go do shots?
Yeah. She's like, who's the real responsible one?
I just hope she doesn't do that same thing if she ever has an actual kid. I guess I can't judge.
Only time will tell. Only time will tell for this woman.
Totally fine for a dog. That's great. Love that.
You have a baby in a bar. That's your prerogative, Susan. No judgment. Don't ask me to watch that one.
My week went by so fast. I don't even know if I have a memory of this whole week. This whole month has gone by fast, but this week, I know by the time it was Friday, I was like, oh shit. What?
This week did go by fast. That's probably like my saving grace about this entire week is I feel like I blink and a miss. At least it went by fast. If it was going to suck this bad.
Yeah, true. I would rather a fast, shitty week than one that just drags on forever. It was an all right week. I feel like I've been stressing a lot with work stuff and just trying to get myself acclimated to this new job and feeling challenged by something I feel like I shouldn't be so challenged by, and just meeting my daily goals and stuff. And
what do you think is so challenging about it? That you don't feel like you need to be challenged?
My attention span has never been so bad. I don't know. Maybe it's just working from home, but I've worked from home before.
Yeah, but that was a little bit more of still a creative mindset, because when you were working with the children, you were interacting.
Yeah.
You had things that you were doing. We're not to say that you're not interacting with these people, but a lot of it is so much computer oriented, where quiet time where you're just working on the computer.
Yeah. I think it is just so repetitive and monotonous that my mind just drifts really easy. And I never knew that I had such a bad attention span till this job.
It's also, I realized, and I love it for other people. It's great if it works for you, but I'm really shitty at working from home.
I thought I was going to have this time to be so productive while also working from home. And then I was like, shit, I suck at this. I need to take all of the time just to do my work. And then sometimes I'm even working later. And that's totally on me. That's me making up for
I also
dicking around.
really think it's your computer setup. I hate working off of just laptops.
Yeah, I've brought that up to my supervisor that I think I do want to get a dual screen setup, which means I'm going to have to move to the desk, but maybe that'll help my focus.
just stare at all you guys. Her, just so we can paint a picture. You would be my psycho poster that I have hanging up. So it's just Janet Leigh about to get fucking whacked.
Psycho, Friday the 13th, Halloween.
Yeah,
they're all great posters.
How do you not feel at home with that view? You're gonna get all the work done. You just can't look up because you can't look up. You're gonna get scared. There's a Jason mask staring right at you. You're like, Jesus. Okay, I'm back to work. It's the best supervisor you never knew you needed.
Okay, I'll go to work.
Shit. Sorry, Jason. Don't kill me, okay?
How many calls did you get done today, Jason?
Right, get it? Because he never talks. Office humor. Not great.
Those are my coworkers.
Productiveness. That could be a bit. That would be fucking hilarious. But okay, so we're just going to get you. We'll see what those two desktops do.
Because it is surprising how life-changing just getting a mouse was instead of my tracking pad.
It's weird. God, and these are the things that we get excited about.
But it ended really good. I was just talking to my friends from back home. We decided last weekend, I think, that we were going to start doing monthly dinners.
That's good.
And I'm so excited.
That'll be good for the soul. Yeah,
we just don't get to see each other a lot because we just live far and not far. Close enough to get together once a month for dinner. But some of them are out in the suburbs. Some of us are in the city, just very different stretches of the city.
But that'll be good regardless. At least at the very, that you're going to see people that you love once a month. Mm-hmm. Not that she doesn't absolutely love me, you guys, or our other roommate. Full of love here, baby. But no, it'll just be something to look forward to, which I'm all about, tiny little rewards. Just anything that keeps you going is what I really like.
I'm excited. And one of those friends is the friend I was talking about before that got engaged. So I think we're all just realizing we're we need to see more of each other.
I know, because God, they're just going to get a life, huh? A married life. And I say it with so much, but I'm just it blows my mind. I'm they're about to have what are they doing now? They're going to be doing the same thing, but I'm it's a life though.
Yeah, no, it's going to be this is I said, this is my first
You're going to try
really
and find a
friend
home together.
Yeah.
All these life, are you guys going to have a baby? Tell me now. I need, because I need to know so I can prepare. I need to know.
We'll just get through the wedding first.
Yes. Speaking of, I feel today's write-in submissions also kind of correlate.
Yeah.
I feel that always happens to us with however we're feeling. The submissions that we're going to be talking about always end up being just so synonymous with how we're feeling.
Look at how that worked.
That's the universe, babe.
Talking about some friendships and some roommates maybe. All right, let's see.
Here we go.
So this first one, my best friend in college wants to throw away our 4-year friendship and not telling me why. This just started a couple weeks ago, and I now just realized it because I've been under a shitload of stress from school along with work. My best friend, who I'm happy to tell people about us being best friends since college started in 2018, is not responding to me. We would text on daily basis for hours on end and even have the same classes for 3 semesters straight. Oh, wow. Never had an issue with him or caused any trouble that led any of us in trouble up until spring break, where I noticed that he stopped texting about hanging out or needing help from me or about anything at all. So anyways, I felt something was up, so I reached out, and this is what I get. He hasn't replied to my last text yet. Hey bro, I don't know if it's just me or you're trying to dodge me or not talk to me at all. I'm not sure what I did that made you feel you need to do that, but I do pick up on cues. You don't text back anymore, nor sit with me in class. If I did something that made you feel upset, please let me know because I don't mean it and I want to resolve it. His friend said, man to man, our ideas and the way we approach and engage with people aren't the same. For a while now, people lately have been telling me things about you that I don't agree with and I'm not supportive of. I've known you very well for a few years now, and I wrongfully swept your wrongdoings under the rug, not realizing how uncomfortable you made my friends feel. Even myself, I know you don't respect me and it's okay, but for the others around me, I can't bear the feelings they feel being mistreated. There's no hate or anything, just not healthy for me to associate with your ideas on a daily. And writer said, all right, that's how you feel, then that's that. Out of curiosity, what did I do specifically that set you off? He never got a response to that. The writer said, are you available sometime next week? Let's meet up in person and resolve those things people have been telling you, because I think there might be some misunderstanding or miscommunication that led you to feel that way, or give me a chance to tell you my side of the story. I've always valued you and your opinions, and I've always respected that, so I'm not sure what I did that made you and your friends feel uncomfortable. Believe me that I value our friendship, and I want to tell my side of whatever story you heard and put this behind us. And he said, I've asked my other friends, and all of them said to meet up in person and resolve it, which he agrees, but he's not willing to talk about what's wrong. How can I resolve this with him? So it's a lot.
Yeah.
Especially
since we don't get a ton of context since the person that the writer's trying to reach out to is not being so forthcoming on what those ideas, viewpoints are.
Yeah, that's hard. I feel like if you're going to cut ties, well, I guess, I don't know, you don't owe anybody anything, but if you've been such close friends for all through college.
Yeah, my initial thought is that I would hope that if, I had a relationship with somebody for that extended period of time, that just given the length of that relationship, it would make sense, or one would think that they would want to sit down and have the conversation. But if that's not the case, unfortunately, I've learned this as life has moved on too, you kind of just can't control people's opinions, thoughts towards you. You have done what I feel like is the bigger thing in reaching out. But, sometimes you're not always going to get that closure, and it's unfortunate, but we do kind of have to figure out a way to be okay with that too, because it sounds like they're not really willing to give you maybe what you need, and maybe understand that that's something within them. Maybe they're still figuring out the situation and how they truly feel about it. It's maybe worth it of letting them know that whenever they're ready to sit down and talk about this, that you're here and ready to listen, and that there's not necessarily any pressure. But I do think you need to potentially come to terms with the idea that you may not get an answer, and you have to find a way to be okay with that.
Yeah. And that's not easy. I've been in a similar situation. Abby's heard all about this, so I apologize that you're hearing.
No, you guys, isn't that what roommates are for? Yeah. You always tell like the same story, but you need I need a 12-time perspective. Just gotta check this out.
And it really is especially with things like this that just kind of eat away at you more. The more you talk about it, the easier it gets, and just it's a little easier to move on from these things, because it's true. You don't always get an explanation. I had my best friend of 8 years just out of the blue stopped communicating with me, and for months I didn't even have an explanation as to why. It was just radio silence for 3 months. So spending way too much time alone with your thoughts is very hard when you just have all this time to think of what did I do. It's so easy to be really hard on yourself. And I got a text back from him that was kind of explaining things, but again, that was very one-sided communication, where it was just he was on his break at work and he texted me.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a conversation to hear what you had to say too. It was just listen to what I have to say and why I did it and be okay with it kind of thing.
Yeah. And I was depressed. When it was going on, I was still in school at that time. It was our second year? I know it was during my directing class, because my directing teacher was amazing. I really hope that you have people around you that you can talk to and kind of lean on. And also, if it's really affecting you, like it did for me. I ended up going and, you know, talking to a counselor. I didn't even know that our school had a counselor.
We do? We did?
Yeah.
Shut up.
It wasn't until like I started
course.
doing really bad in my classes. I was failing one of my classes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It was my directing class. And they took notice. They were like, my directing teacher too, he was an angel. I love that man. He was just like, what's going on? Like from the work that you do put in, I know that you do better than this. So like, what's going on? And like just sat down with me and was like really wanted to know. And then just like I told him, and of course I like was crying and and he was like, that's really
not
tough.
A patronizing it's like I didn't know like our school had the capacity to care like that.
Right. But yeah, he was like, and then he told me, you know, was kind of commiserating and like gave like just a similar story, just relating. He was like, I totally understand. Unfortunately, like you have to like sign this and we have to make like a plan so that you're not failing anymore and you're going to have to talk to this person. So I had to go to the chair.
Ooh.
But at that point, it must have been second year because we were friends then. We were no longer enemies.
Yeah, so it was second year for sure.
Yeah, because she was also really sweet about it. She did the same thing, and then she was the one that told me that we had a counselor. I was like, oh, no shit.
They don't advert like I would love that. I would have been in that office every day, like knock knock. I brought us lunch. They would have been like, Abby.
Yeah. So I went, and talked to the counselor. It was on a whole nother floor too. There were so many other floors to our school that we didn't know.
Building. We knew nothing, you guys.
But yeah, like I always say when I talk about this situation that if I wasn't in the environment that I was at that time, I don't know how things would have panned out for me and just like mentally or how it would have went, because I had all of my friends in film school who all just like really, really cared and really like let me lean on them and were just there for me and supported me and would listen to me ramble and cry. And it was such an amazing environment, and I'm so grateful for it that I'm thankful that I had those people. So I do truly hope that you have somebody you can kind of lean on. And if not, dude, like, let me know. I will be there because I've been through this. So
just keep emailing us. Yeah. We'll just email back and forth now. But even if you don't have somebody too, it might be beneficial to maybe journal about how you're feeling, just so that you're not keeping it bottled up one way or the other.
100%.
Losing a friend is a heavy load. It's literally the exact same thing as a loved one, a relationship. Yeah. I mean, you put in so much work with that too. So like, why shouldn't it be the same thing? So like, especially when those end, and especially when you don't get any closure or rhyme or reason, and you just get left with open-ended questions, like, of course that's going to eat away at you. You're a human. And that's...
No one talks about friend breakups.
Not nearly enough. Like, no.
They're so hard. It's just as hard as any other breakup.
Oh my God. I hate friend breakups.
One of the hardest parts of growing up is realizing and just like coming to terms and going through those moments, realizing that not everybody is meant to be in your life forever.
And not everybody is for you too.
Yeah. But they were there, even the people that are just in your life for a moment, I think were there to teach you something. So, or whether it's a lesson, I would hope that like in this situation, if there really was an issue, that it could be a lesson taught from this person, like, oh, maybe, I don't pick up on that, and maybe I shouldn't. I'm making people feel uncomfortable that way.
100%. And I do find these situations huge, like open doors for growth. I've had, since living in the city, a couple friendship breakups, and each one, like, despite having the breakups, was better than the last. And I was just continuing to learn. And I feel like, not that like I'm like, okay, you were my lesson, goodbye. I would love to have these people in my life still, to be quite honest, but the situation and where I was at in life and where they were at just no longer worked with each other, and it became just toxic than it was beneficial or happiness. So I was like to the point where it's just nothing but resent at this point, and I don't want to have that. I'd like to look back on this in happiness. And they both each helped me find better people moving forward too. Like the circle and the people that I feel like I've accumulated in my life are green flags all around. But I don't know if I would have been able to get there or what to look for had it not been for those relationships.
I feel like a lot of times in these situations, you kind of figure out that it was very one-sided, that you may have been putting in more than this other person.
Well, I mean, obviously based off those text messages too, like you are, I'm at the very least applauding you for being the one to continue to reach out and be like, this relationship meant something to me. Please, let's sit down.
Yeah.
That, and because it's, again, we don't know what these said views, opinions, instances are, but the fact that you're like, let me know.
Yeah, because you
says so much
show
about
that you want to grow.
Like, I mean, at the very least, you know, not without knowing, I'd be like, yeah, actually, let's sit down and talk if you were the one texting me. Because I have had that. And I've always appreciated friends when I'm pissed too. And when they're pissed, being like, we should talk. And then we have all these skewed bias too, where it's like, oh man, if we just would have communicated this, maybe this would have gone better. Or you realize like, okay, so you've been feeling this and you've neglected to tell me why.
Right.
Kind of things. And that's just like, and I applaud anybody that is willing to have those tough conversations because they're so hard and it's such a cop out.
But you learn so much from
to run away. Yeah, it's really so beneficial in the long run.
It's a hard pill to swallow, being like, okay, I thought we were friends to the point where we would talk about this.
100%. That's the thing that's just like been bugging me throughout this whole thing is it's like, sounds like there's a lot of like history here, and to just come back from spring break and have somebody be like, goodbye, I just think that's a huge sign of immaturity. But I do think you still owe it to them to be like, I think what you do is really like X, Y, and Z, and it does not sit well with me. And because of that, I don't want to like talk to you anymore. You can't build a life waiting on other people's responses too, which is like something I've only recently begun to understand is you have to be okay with maybe getting those unanswered questions and building a strong foundation for yourself and knowing who you are when you're not going to get that. Some people, despite being there for a long time, like one of my relationships that I'm having issues with at the moment has been since I've moved to the city. So like 5 years. Mm-hmm. And I'm only recently discovering all these like not great things that I've been putting up with. And it's been fucking terrible to deal with.
Yeah, it hurts.
And I thought timeline wise, I'm like, nah, we're good. We've been in this for 5 years. Like, what the fuck? Like, we're strong. No. I never realized, and you guys, we never had fights. And then like, as we've only recently started fighting, I'm like, we have horrible communication skills with each other. Mm-hmm. Have we always just been like trying to stay on each other's good side because like this? Because like, it's kind of imploding before our eyes.
And it does teach you about yourself because like, Abby and I have even had, you know, discussions, and sometimes we struggle to communicate with each other. And then in finally communicating and having that conversation, we realize the reasons that we like we said, we've been burned in the past. So we kind of realize we're like, oh my God, I didn't bring this up to you because of PTSD from a past, you know, bad relationship, that when I tried to be honest, I got burned by that. And I didn't want that. This relationship means too much to me that I didn't want to communicate that with you because I was afraid if we had that big conversation that things would end. But those are the strong ones. Those are the relationships and the friendships that are built to last and that matter the most. The ones that you might be the most nervous to have that conversation with, maybe the first time is going to be the most nerve-wracking, but once you establish that you can have that two-way communication, then it's just, you're going to get into a groove and you're going to like, those are the friendships. Those are the ones that are going to be around forever. And
to see the change too. Cause like you can sit down and have a conversation, but if your behavior is the same the next day, I'm going to be like, okay, so you obviously just listen to appease, not to change or produce any growth. So just be aware of that too. It's because especially if like they are willing to, if they're only willing to tell you what you're doing wrong and not giving you a chance to explain yourself too, please understand that like you have every right to also walk away from that if you're not able to get your side of the story in and they're just like, let me tell you about you. I think you're also within your right to be like, okay, so is this like a self-serving relationship where it's just about how everything impacts you and I don't get to talk about me? Because it also sounds like you can't really rack your brain on what maybe you did. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't know you, but based off of what you have written to us, you've been pretty honest about wanting to fix this. So at the very least, I would think maybe if something came to mind, you wouldn't have a problem saying maybe it was this that is causing this issue. But it sounds like this has also taken you by surprise. So That's my frustrating end with this.
Yeah.
I think you're doing everything that you can with the situation. And my advice is to maybe send one more follow-up text to being like, okay, clearly we're not at a place where you want to talk about this. Obviously, with the history that we have, you mean quite a bit to me. So whenever you are ready, I am more than happy to sit down and have this conversation. Until then, I will be leaving you alone. Please feel free to talk to me when you're ready.
Yeah. You did all you can do, and then it is just time to take care of yourself so you can move on from it.
Yeah.
And you might be really angry for a while, and you're allowed to be angry and be hurt. We wish you the best of luck. I truly hope that you can get some communication, but if that's it, you put the ball in their court and you just get silence back and no closure, then we also wish you the best of luck in taking care of yourself and moving on from it. And time and distance, I think, is the best for healing from things like this. It takes a little while, but also allow yourself to go through all the emotions of it.
Definitely. Yeah, let yourself grieve too. That's the thing, is like, despite not getting to know what the answer is, you'll still grieve.
Mm-hmm. And you might go back and forth in the steps of grieving. It's not going to be a straight line of like, first I felt this, now I'm at this stage, the next one's going to be this. You might go back and forth a little bit and kind of relapse and be really upset again, but you're allowed to. It was important to you.
I would love to have a check-in and see updates. Even if you guys don't have this conversation, I would love to know just maybe where you are, how you're doing. You know, I certainly, if you're still not in a great place, definitely keep reaching out to us if these conversations help you at all too. Or if you have a new issue, a new grieving step that you're on. We are not one-time write-in people.
Yeah.
Keep coming to us too.
We want to hear back. Don't be a stranger.
It's really what we're here for.
Yeah.
Can't emphasize that enough. We really do love to help listen. So don't feel like you can't send us updates, good or bad too.
Right. We've both been through this, so we totally understand.
Oh yeah, honey. You're dealing with seasoned pros.
But best
in a
of
good
luck.
way.
Yeah. Thank you so much for writing, letting us speak about this. We wish you all the best, and hit us up if you need some more help.
You know where to find us.
Tag you're it, you get to read.
All right. So I'm starting to look at a new place to move to from my previous place. And one of the places I've looked at is a 2-bedroom with a living room, kitchen, and 1 bathroom. The other person I spoke to who found the place and signed the lease would put me on as a leaseholder. We did a video chat and we met up. The place is great, except the room she would have me live in is 9 feet by 10.5 feet. So 94 square feet. I didn't do that math. They did it for me. In case you guys were like,
sounded so smart.
in case you guys, I was like, yeah, so 94. Everyone's like, whoa. I just knew that.
No,
I'm waiting to pull that out of my pocket.
I appreciate this math.
With a tiny closet. Moira Rose. Whereas hers is 14 feet by 9.6 feet. So that is 134.4 square feet. Dang, that is a noticeable difference, let's be honest here. With a closet 2/3 times the size. Even the room she designated the living room was slightly smaller than hers, but has a bigger closet and is bigger than mine. And when I asked about having the living room as a bedroom, she wasn't about that. We would split the rent equally, and her justification is she found the place and would bring a lot of the furniture in, including kitchen tables, chairs, a small couch, coffee table, and small shelf, as well as dishes, utensils, and appliances. Thus, she should get the bigger room. She lived on her own before, but wanted to move back to a particular area in our city and wanted to live with a roommate again. Something about it isn't sitting right with me. Yes, she would bring the furniture in, but it was already items she owned, and I don't know which were gifted/bought by her. Considering that the rent on each room is over $1,000 per month, the value of the furniture has already been paid for if she has been living with it for a period of time. Even before moving in, she indicated before living on her own, she lived with roommates. She said I could use the closet in the living room for storage, but when I factor in splitting utilities and household expenses, such as toilet paper, etc., over an extended period of time, I know deep down I'll feel bitter. If she had offered I pay a flat fee up front for using her items if she's worried about damage, maybe I'd be okay with it. But I feel like she'll be getting much more value for her money with the difference in room size for the same amount of money. Am I being too sensitive about the room size and cost? No. Oh my God, no. That like, honestly, this one resonated with me so much. It actually burns me to my core. Living with roommates is so difficult. Like, let's just be honest. Like, God love you, Bri, but like, it's not easy. It's not easy. Oh my gosh. Like, obviously you guys can see this just got me so worked up because just also where do people get off sometimes?
That's my biggest thing is like the gall of this person.
Let me bring in this furniture that I've already had and somehow use that as a justification for what they sound fucking cheap.
Yeah, clearly this person wants to live alone but can't afford it.
Yes, and I can't stand that. Like, what is it? What is the saying? Like, champagne taste, pretzel budget.
I like that. I don't think I've ever heard that.
Oh my God. It just makes me mad because it's like, okay, so you're trying to act like this bougie, like play this up, but you can't afford the area. So find an area that you can afford then, or find somebody that you can manipulate better, because I think that's pretty messed up.
When you bought something, you bought it, you own it. That's it.
And that's on you, boo.
In what world are people paying you back for
things that
the shit that you bought?
Like, what the fuck?
Like, what? I'm speechless. Like, I can't. Like, pretty tricky, sis. Like,
also,
yeah, you can really the good try in trying to get that money back, but fuck off with that. No way. I'm not paying you for your couch or for using your dishes. It's a shared space. If you don't like that other people are using it, then live alone.
And the thing is, too, is there are going to be people out there who, like, maybe would be fully okay with that situation. So, for example, I have one of the tinier rooms, but we still pay the same amount. But it just ended up, like, longevity-wise, it worked better that way. Just how the math panned out, and everybody just happened to be okay with it. We got lucky there because I liked the room that I was in so much that, like, the size didn't really matter and storage was not going to be a problem for me because my other roommates were willing to give me space elsewhere, and just, like, I'm pretty low maintenance with that. But that's not everybody, and that's okay. Because if you're not okay with that, you shouldn't have to live with it. We just got lucky with, like, how chill
we compromised
and how easy, like, we were to compromise, and how, like, just certain things weren't that big of a deal for us and what we really needed. But if you need more than that, you're entitled to that, and you should pay what you're comfortable to.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, if I had a problem with the pay, I know that, like, we all would have sat down and had a conversation about it.
Right.
What we got out of the situation was the best outcome, I feel like.
Yeah, we were very lucky that, I mean, you were just drawn to that room, and you said it, like, first thing. You were like, I don't care, I will take this one.
Yeah.
And which was huge and super helpful. And then we did compromise because clearly, like, it's not enough room for all of your furniture and everything that you need to live. So, like, her dresser's in the front room, but, like, it works, and it also gives us more surface area.
And it also helps that I am all of 5 foot.
Yeah.
So I'm just like a tiny little gal.
So it's just a cute little cozy room for her, and it just works. But we also did not, like, hold that over her head, and
they weren't like, you better freaking live in this room.
You should take the small one because you're small.
No,
so.
You guys were even like, no, at first we were like, okay, so we're not doing that apartment. And I was like, wait, what? We're not? Because I remember we were like, saw how small that room was, and we were like, okay, like, maybe, like, it doesn't seem feasible potentially for whoever gets it. And I was like, no, I'll take that.
Yeah. Which I was so appreciative because I loved this apartment.
This part,
so
like,
much.
and I love it, and I still love my room. But, like, it's also okay if for what you're getting square footage wise, it was basically just like her bed and a bedside table that could fit in there. So smaller than my room, and she was going to be paying over $1,000.
That's insane.
Over $1,000 plus utilities still.
Yeah.
And she wanted that to be equal. And I think that's so unfair. I don't know the location. So I know location's always factored in. But at the very least, I would be docking some money off of that.
If she's going to be, like, if you're going to use my couch, this and that,
fuck you.
Then your room is bigger, you're using more of the electricity and the heat, like, right?
So then it breaks, and that's just the thing, is then it breaks down to, like, a pettiness where it's like, okay, so then I don't own this, you use, like, approximately like this much of toilet paper, so you're paying this. Like it just seriously, it's just
God.
like, and we have experience with pettiness too, where it's like things that weren't a big deal because we got so pissed became things that just like ate us up alive. Like doing dishes in one of our older apartments with a roommate that was just such an only child vibe who wouldn't do anybody's dishes but her own. And we had also openly communicated that this was like a communal household. We help each other out.
Yeah, we said that in the interview.
All the time. Yes, you guys, we did interviews. Sue us. We want to know who we're living with and vibing with, which is what we're trying to tell this girl to do. And look at us. We're in a good relationship.
Yeah, we are
living
getting
proof
heated
that
about
those
each other.
Yeah.
Because even in our Logan apartment, we
wouldn't do dishes. And like they would build up because we would be so mad.
Yeah, because then it was everybody being petty with each other. But splitting like price and room and stuff like that, we all paid almost all. I think Abby and I paid the same because our rooms were basically the same size, but we had 4 bedrooms in that one. So there was one that was huge and that one paid the most.
That one paid the most, rightfully so. Got the best light, super huge, like got all of like the bells and whistles. And then our one roommate, she literally lived in like, my brother called it the boy who lived under the stairs. It was such a small room. It was the Harry Potter room. And she paid less than everybody else.
Yeah.
And that was how it worked because like fair is fair. You pay by size.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And like you guys, before I even lived with them, when I was moving back to the city, I had 2 girls kind of pull the same thing on me, but like not communicate with me that they weren't in to like us all splitting evenly. 'Cause I was always under the impression that we were looking for a 3-bedroom. And then they just hit me one day and they're like, hey, her and I are actually okay with like splitting a room together. So will you pay like more? And I was like, that was never agreed upon. I'm not okay with that. I explicitly told you my budget and now I'm outside of my budget doing that. And I'm like, well, I can share a room too. Radio silence. They never responded back to me. So then I just got lucky moving in with Bri and our other roommate too. So
And again, I mean, to highlight that of Abby, she's just always communicated. Like she did, you did what you had to do with those girls to be like, no, that's not what we agreed upon, and then moved on. And luckily it worked out.
Thank the Lord.
Oh my God.
We've gotten so lucky. But yeah, and it's also understanding your boundaries, because I guarantee you if I would have said yes, it would have been like another thing of like, you're just automatically putting yourself in the situation where like you're sacrificing something right off, and it's like, what else are you gonna have to sacrifice? And I just don't like the vibe that set up. That just screams red flags to me, because it's like
100%.
Like the fact that you're dropping like what you brought into the, because that's weird to me too.
That's petty from the beginning.
That's so weird, because like is she gonna charge her boyfriend for sleeping in her bed with her? Especially when we buy things for the apartment too. It's never like, okay, that's like $16.50 each.
Yeah,
for something that like we wanted
for living expenses, or if it's like furniture.
Yeah,
that's why I'm always big on, I don't like, because I know that I'm not going to live with roommates forever, and so as much as I love my roommates, I don't usually, if I want something, I'm like, I will buy it. I don't want to split it because I don't want to have that conversation. That conversation
makes 100% sense.
Yeah, like, when you're moving apart and it's like, well, who gets it?
They're absolutely
like, cut the table in half.
No conversation. Yeah, no, for real. But like, I've also like communicated what like things that we did do together. I'm like, nah, I'm cool with this, like not having it, or cool without it too.
Yeah.
That's just so bogus to me that she's trying to be like,
that is so like, ugh, I hate this person.
Yeah, I feel like you need to run, girl. Yeah. Thank God that ink is not dry.
I hope this isn't a friend of yours, and I just said that.
It doesn't sound like, no, it doesn't sound like they were friends.
I'm not even okay with I found it. That's like, because my house, my rules. Like, get over yourself.
The only thing is just that she was on the lease is the only thing I'm giving them. But true, if we're both actively looking for an apartment and your justification is I found them, I'm like, shut the fuck up. That has no validation to me, because I'm like, we're both looking. You just happen to find a place that we both agreed on.
Yeah.
That's not a good argument. You have no ground.
Yeah. No, if she was already living here and then you were coming in, I could see it being like, well, this is just like, no, I don't really want to lose my living room. But if she's just the one that happened to find this place in the search, she can't be like, again, she needs to live alone.
This is striking such a core with me because I also had a friend who did that with somebody. She moved into this person who already like bought the house and they needed help. And it started out like so, but like she was very OCD. Like she could only do certain things. Like she wouldn't even let my friend's sister come over and do laundry. And she was making her pay like mortgage payment-esque, like in rent. Because she couldn't afford the mortgage on her own, so she needed a roommate. And I was like, you realize that like you're paying all this money and you are like for a fucking room. Because she basically tells you can't do this. I feel uncomfortable when people stay the night. I have all these rules, and it's like, yeah, no, they can tell you they're okay with it, but like it's gonna pop up so much more than you think, and you need to get out now.
Yeah, because clearly,
if there's already rules, there's gonna be more. That's
she's
so
not
easy to
gonna
spot.
Compromise on anything.
Nope.
She's gonna be hiding tinfoil and all the shit.
Like
in her
our
room.
one roommate. Yes. Oh my god. Like, and then but then
still using the community stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we don't have problems sharing. I have problems with people taking advantage of people with like a good heart, and it sounds like you gave this a fair shake. You thought about it. I don't think it's for you. No. I think you need to keep looking.
Move on.
Like it. Oh my gosh.
There's better out there.
And it's better to wait this out and find somebody who's going to respect what like you need to and your happiness in the house. It sounds like they just want to fill that room and want like the person to shut up about it. You got to know when something's worth the fight and when it's not. And it feels like there's no positives here other than just you not having to look for a place anymore. And I promise you, the work that you're going to have to put in to find somewhere that you're actually going to be happy will be worth it.
I really hope you don't move in with this person.
Normally, I feel like we're like, let's see how it plays out. But we're like, run, honey, run. Don't look back. Honestly, steal a chair while you're at it. Her chair. Her fucking chair.
She put this on herself.
Oh, she did. She needs a vase stolen something. I'm just kidding. I'm whatever. I'm wink,
we
wink.
Don't condone
wink,
stealing.
wink. If like whatever, she was missing something, that would be a bad moment, I guess.
Steal her Swiffer.
Oh my God.
It'll stick with her.
Oh, our one roommate stole Bri's Swiffer and then left her on red. That was the best part.
I saw her and her mom using it while she was moving out. I was like, hey, did you use the Swiffer? Knowing full well that she used it. This is how the level of petty that we were at this point with this. Ugh. She's like, no, we didn't even use it. It was like, I saw you and I know you were the last one to use it and I know that you took it.
She's calling you a liar.
Oh my God. I was
so not mad. Calling you a truther.
I know that Swiffers aren't that expensive, guys, but
it's the principle.
And I did get a new one.
If that's what you're wondering, but we weren't happy about it.
I was not happy about it.
Because you want to know why? It could have been avoided.
And because when I went to go buy a new one, because we really needed one, they only had the really big ones left.
And it's actually been a lot more challenging than you'd think.
Yeah, because it's more expensive to get the pads and it doesn't fit in as many places in our apartment.
It doesn't.
It's not as helpful.
So honestly, thoughts and prayers for us.
Yeah.
In these tough times.
Feel
real bad for us that we have something to clean the floors and we're mad.
I know your roommate is asking you to pay for sitting on the couch and using her chair and her dishes, but I needed to get a new Swiffer. So, oh my God, we are 100% in your court, girl.
Yes.
Like, we are here for you.
At this point, I'll fucking help you move. So like, I just need to make sure that you don't sign that lease. And if so, like,
Please
how
don't.
do I get a hold of it to burn before you turn it in?
Who do we pay to get you out of this lease?
I feel like, yeah, because I'm like, don't do it. Like, I'm so like scary movie right now. I'm like, don't do it.
Don't go in there.
Don't sign on the dotted line.
You deserve so much better. And like, she set a low bar. Like,
yeah, honestly,
there doesn't take much to be better than this.
The universe will
girl.
give her whatever she needs, and it's not you. So stay away.
Live alone.
Not with her. Anybody but her, pretty much.
No, yeah, you can have roommates.
Or similar to her vibe.
Handle roommates.
That's a big no-no. Yeah, you need to find people that understand what it's like to live with like another person as well.
Yeah.
A good question that Bri and I always like to throw out is we do like to always ask if they've lived with people before, if so, how many, or if they have any siblings, because we have experienced some only childs who have lived with us, and that just creates a lot of problems because they're so used to, they don't have to accommodate. to other people's needs as much or like bend to them. So just some maybe thoughtful questions to ask. It seems silly especially when people like have given us shit. They're like, oh, you do roommate interviews, and we're like, we're pretty
we're girls in the city, and we want to make sure that we're living with somebody that's not going to kill us, and that's not going to drive us nuts, that we don't want to kill.
Yeah. And it's just also important when you value your space and like your peaceful and mindfulness, you're going to want to find the right people. So you need to find somewhere that you're excited to move into. So definitely
drive you insane.
Hold out, look for something better, look for better people who are a little bit more aligned with your needs, wants, boundaries, and open to listen.
I think we've had our best luck with, surprisingly, Facebook, finding new roommates.
Yeah, there's a lot of groups out there.
And I think I always felt better with Facebook because you can see their profile.
Yeah.
So it's not a faceless stranger like Craigslist or something like that.
Yeah, I don't like Craigslist. Don't do that.
Maybe we'll put some links or some examples.
Yeah, if that's helpful, we totally can too. Or maybe questions we've asked to find the right people too. They seem silly in retrospect, but like things that like we really took into account when we were like, even something as simple as like, are you a heavy sleeper versus not? Because I used to serve and I would come home at all hours. Or like I would be up really early in the morning, or you would. I feel like even asking those questions shows how considerate you're trying to be and just sets a nice tone.
Yeah. It's kind of hard at first. You might not know the questions to ask. So maybe we should share all of our questions.
Oh my God, of course.
On some episode.
Yeah, I think if you needed that justification, you got it. I don't think this is the one for you. So
run.
Yes, as fast as you can.
I didn't even mean to say that like that.
I like saw the opportunity and I felt like I really needed to pick it up. Otherwise, I'd be like, do I even watch Shrek? And I know it's from something like, I know it's the nursery rhyme, but
it's also Shrek.
But it's just Shrek. So that's where I know it.
Our Lord and Savior.
In Shrek we pray. Okay, well, that is enough of us. You guys, you're good on us, huh?
You're tired.
Yeah, you need to go. You probably need to go to your room now. And like, just so you know, code in our house is when I'm like, I'm done with you bitches, we shut that door. Or if you're me, I just leave. And I'm not angry. I didn't even realize it came off that way. I would just like, in my mind, I'd be like, that's enough of that. And I just get up and leave. And little did I know, people were like, oh,
Queen of the Irish goodbye.
I invented that Irish goodbye. I didn't even realize when Devin was like, yeah, and it just means like, don't worry, she's not mad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what? You're telling, like, you're prefacing?
We took it personally. We were like, oh, what did we do?
And in my head, I'm just like, I gotta go. I'm ready.
Like, it's bedtime.
I'm going to bed. I'm putting on Family Guy. I'm going to bed. And
sometimes it would take a while too, because I'm like, wait, where'd she go? I thought you were just going to your room to get something. I'm like, oh, she's asleep.
Yeah, and then you hear the Family Guy theme song playing and you're like, oh, she just went to bed.
Oh,
but you're
we're done.
Yeah. And we know too.
But please come back. Don't stay away too long. Again, of course, if you have anything you want to tell us, any stories, any questions, anything and everything,
yes,
we're here for them. Email us at rentfreeroommates@gmail.com.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a review for us.
All those things.
But all right, guys, we will see you next time.
Next time.
Can't wait. Bye.